Well, hello, music multiverse listeners. It looks like you're back for another exciting episode of Album Reviews Saturdays. That's right. Where else are you going to learn about new music that people don't want you to hear? They keep it pushed off to the side. No, you have to listen to this. Rodrigo Carpenter. All right, here we don't do the vomitolocomania. No, that's right. We pick albums from all over the place, and today we run the gamut. BeyondYourRadio.com. Yeah, there's an article section there if you haven't perused that, or all our shows are listed there. You can go back in time if you don't want to use the YouTube algorithm to find us, which it doesn't even know exists.
Oh,
So, episode 21. This is possible because of the wonderful donated time by Deb Armitage Hicks Maloney.
hello.
Yeah, she has to endure all this craziness and things that I do. And this week I just said, I love, I like, I I get into the lyrics, the apparently lip criticism of things today. It's all L's and it's intentional. I'm just on an alphabetical kick. We're not even at the L's yet in panelist favorites, but we're getting there. So all the albums today have L's in them, or L, or start with the band member L or the band L, and you'll see it what the L is going on as we continue. So that's what we do in the article section there. I did these three lovely records, and I mean that lovely records: Linda Perry, Wormstew, and Lip Critic. So this is episode 21, and on this episode of Album Review Saturdays, I started to see a pattern in releases, and since we're all in the alphabetical thing, I was just talking about panelist favorites, I don't know what the L is going on, but it was everywhere. I mean, this is not even a quarter of the amount of L's that dropped, so I just picked these lovely L's. So first, we take on a production icon, actually, that goes a little under the radar. Has some solo success, not a lot, but had a huge hit with her one and done all female band. Or are they done? What's up with that? Because there was an announcement they're not done.
Oh,
So color me intrigued. Yeah. So then I decided to stay locked in with the L and choosing not a band that started with L, but an oddly titled album by an oddly named band.
hmm
Oh yeah, just what I don't even know what this band should have. That's your band name, really? Question mark. There'll be a finalist for 2026. They serve up something meaty, clever, and you can't put your finger in it or on it in familiarity, which is bugging me at this moment still, because there's just there one of these songs is going on. I'm like, I've heard that before. I've heard who is that? Who is that? And I keep getting interference from all these other bands. So finally, why not? I take us to Brooklyn for an electronified beastie mentality punk band with an unusual decision on a third album. The story is all that and a bag of stolen messages from their little known discography, at least in my ears anyway, and on the shelves, but also a hell of a sonic electronic buzzard of a therapeutic anger management, truth telling from a proprietor and place of equal unawareness. What? Yeah, just go with me there. Let's find out and what's lingering out in the layers of lyric lunacy and luscious audio creativity on this lovely episode of Album Listen Challenge. See, even Listen's got the L. It's oh my God, let's stop. He can't save me from becoming my parent.
Inevitable.
Yes. Let it die here, Linda Perry. All right, so we got double L. You may not truly know that Linda Perry is an institution all her own and has the constitution that might seem a bit cliche to the superstar world, but this woman is the real modest deal. Modesty. Isn't that great? This is the most present she has been in my listening habits of hers in the reality and past as we enter Let It Die Here. She is one of the catalysts of the enormously successful one-hit album and maybe song wonder of the Four Non-Blondes, although she was not the original founder. That's immaterial in all honesty because she truly is the one that has made it reality. working reality, which is refreshing opposite of the cliche story, somewhat that had her busking the streets, playing guitar in a windowless one-room apartment. There's even a famous person who cites that he played with her in that one-room windowless apartment, and she denied it, even though the person was, huge. All that aside, she's an artist with a voice, a talent, a written style that kind of allows the real delivery to work its way through. But most importantly, part in the ear she has for music, because Let It Die Here might be the album I've always thought she could do. Herself connecting best with, well, herself, awareness, honesty, scratchy, powerful delivery. It takes hold against more familiar rock chords and structures, and which is exactly where the album starts, with the more Neil Young raw vocality pitch of Balboa Park. Now I don't know where Balboa Park is, and I didn't look it up. I'm assuming it's in Philadelphia. Hey, no, all right. Placement of understanding that leads beautifully into Stupid Yellow Kite, as well as the easy rock and roll delivery of Push Me in the River. It does make you feel alive. What doesn't kill you, huh? Make you stronger? Well, made her stronger at least, I assume, or made her self aware. She always flares a bit in refrain to a little alternative, and it certainly works in the perfect in and out of this album because it does do that. Nowhere near overused either. In fact, it's really and honestly the really excellent string accompaniments of this record that make it kind of
Mm,
beautiful. And it gives the record a lot of depth. A hint of maybe arena Americana. I had this thought process of anyway. The song structures are not within a very easy, accessible confines, but they do reach the 80s and 90s and a hint of 70s. The best of the bunch that showcases that is This All You Got?
In this city, you learn how to cry, suffer the weight, a burden of lies. It ain't easy when you're made to believe that nothing you do will ever see the light. So hit me, mother, is that all you got?
And she answers that with singing into a bleak Western bluesy title track that gets you realizing that she's changed some vocals since that opener. Damn.
well, I think that she has probably done a lot of work and influenced a lot of really cool female artists, right? I mean, you've got Christina Aguilera, Pink. She's produced for Alicia Keys, Gwen Stefani, Courtney Love. She attributes her musical taste and passion to people like Tina Turner and Annie Lennox and Stevie Nicks, but best of all, Robert Plant. All
Yeah, I
about
thought you
all
might find
about
that.
all about the delivery, she said. And just a quick aside, Balboa Park is in San Diego, so you're on the
Oh,
wrong side of the country,
all
but
right.
okay, that's okay.
I didn't get that Philadelphia feeling correct.
Yeah. Um, she's had a traumatic childhood, I read, but it didn't really go into any detail. So
Mm.
I couldn't really get into that any further, but I'd say that a lot of these songwriters have had traumatic childhood, but that's what gives them like experience to write some of this stuff, right? A really cool fun fact is she has a 1957 Les Paul guitar that Slash wanted to buy from her, and she said no.
No.
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's a better story than just having the guitar, but to say I didn't even sell it to Slash. Okay, that's telling Slash no. He's a little scary. I don't know if I would want to tell him no. But
I
this
might tell
album
him no over the phone.
over the phone, yeah, after he had no idea where you live.
Yes.
Um, yeah, you didn't put the address on Marketplace of where that guitar was, right? Um, this album was beautiful. I loved every song. I really thought that the delivery on all the songs were just different enough, unique enough, but still her that made it very, very enjoyable and maybe a little surprise here or there. But out of all the songs, my favorite, and I had to stop and look and say, is that so and so? But it wasn't so and so, it was her. It's Feathers in a Storm. She sounded just like Stevie Nicks to me, just like Stevie Nicks. Um, which is not easy to do
No.
without the real like the real vibrato of Stevie
Hmm.
Nicks. She didn't have that. I always called Stevie Nicks had a little goat quality to her
Oh
voice,
yeah. Yeah.
right? But just the lilt to it, just the tone of it, just the the lightness of the measures in that. So really good album, and I didn't know all the cool things about what she's done for other artists.
Hmm.
Um, they better say thank you.
Yeah, especially the production and work that she did with a relatively unknown called Sierra Swan.
Mm.
Yes, I did an Unknown Sunday on her. If you want to know more, check that out. A lovely voice and alternative thing. The Daniel Powder, Cheap Trick. These are other bands that that she's
Yeah,
done work with. Gwen Stefani.
yeah.
So Let It Die Here, kind of an excellent blend of that songwriter, but of that producer and of
Mhm.
this spirited delivery of music that falls unfamiliar but spreads the genre generously over the bread of connectivity. And I love that about this, buttering everything up nicely from a vocal to instrument, which she uses strings, rock and roll, tints of Americana, southern soft rock, as well as deliberately switching from rawness to polish. So that's not always easy to do, and it might seem that the record's broken, but it's not. Where you I mean, we're all a little broken deep down inside, but we're all a lot more than that. And Linda Perry's a lot more than that. And the music industry, music listeners give her credit for going beyond those four ladies that knew what's up. There's still plenty of vigor. There's fight. There's determination left, and I've got this feeling that that record forthcoming, that's Four Non Blondes, might be an interesting return. This is her best for me, and if you've been a fan and realized the talent and the expressiveness she has and the expansiveness of her full-on capabilities, you just got to check out the Calypso Rumba Fleetwood Macian I'm a Daughter, and you'll understand
Mhm.
exactly where this album elevates her above the great album in the 90s that sold 6 million plus copies. Sure, there's not a song here that's going to have thousands of women on their feet screaming what's going on, but this is what is going on right now, and it's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
Worm Stew. Last Days of Loma. I have no idea what led me here. When you dive as deep as I do, and as willy nilly and willingly as I do, sometimes you end up in the most unusual places, and you lost the roadmap that even got you there. Long Beach, California band with the same dilemma that I have no actual roadmap to where, what, and how. Like my arrival to them has somehow found their way to this show. Yes, one of the most popular shows on YouTube. No, I'm not sure if you ask them if they will consider COVID to be much of a curse, in all honesty, because this gentleman was making music and finding nothing happening and doing nothing and no cohesion. Let's just say it must have become the cohesion and clarity in time to hone said skill and bring us this April 2026 debut, Last Days of Loma. This is just some sort of bucket. You know what? No, we're not going to go there just yet. No, a cauldron. Ooh, yeah. A cauldron of musical mayhem that's so fucking clever and punchy that it hits way above the belt than I was really thinking it was going to sound like. When you look at that cover, I'm thinking like Death Cab for Cutie or no, that's not what I'm thinking of. Who am I thinking of? Oh, I can't even think of their name now. Oh well, just some sort of electro indie pop thing. And no, 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 no. This is, I don't know, whether you ween or you prefer bare naked ladies or a great pop romp and roll, this is going to tickle your short and curlies, baby. Yeah, it is. When I don't, while I don't think these musicians have an inch of overall seriousness within the delivery, this is serious business now, right? Mike Schnee, this guy's some sort of songwriter in the nerds words. He's a nerd worder. His knack, and if you go online and you read, you'll notice I spelled knack wrong on purpose. So you'll see what I did there. It's
Okay.
annoying, but then you're in it. It's contagious. It sounds annoying, like it's going to be annoying, and you're not going to be able to handle it. But then again, it's the sway and familiarity of there's a song moving along.
Gotta keep moving along. Gotta start making me strong. Gotta clean out my heart veins and begin to start loosening these chains. Well, there's nothing around the corner, I have reckoned. There's nothing good I'm feeling this very second. There's so much left to do, that's what they tell me. There's always something that they're always selling. There's always something that they're always selling.
Which I'm still trying to figure out exactly. Is it the Sky Diggers song feeling? I'm hearing it in some other track, but I know this song called to me from my past, and I love it. And it's absolutely snatch and grab right up, and then all of a sudden you're doing J.P. McCartney, okay? And obviously, yes, he's singing about McCartney, and he's not singing about McCartney. He's about singing about being a really wiling out, kind of scary fan. And
Yeah.
holy crap! I mean, you got uh, bongos and strings. I think there's a flute organ in this goddamn thing. Tippy Tippy T. Who writes a song called Tippy Tippy T? Right? No, it sounds like it was written by a famous Genesis custodian manager named Fred Scuttle, reporting for duty. And if you don't know who that was Benny Hill. Contagious, a combination of party favors, ticket takings, and assholes that unexpectedly find a fun, haunting way to play. And when I say haunting, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Yes, there's like this haunting underneath fun
Yeah.
kind of thing. This is all wound so well by the togetherness and the finest ironies that come from Teresa Cowles. You don't even think of female persons in this band, but there is, and she's playing bass and singing in the back. And then the production is it, right? This drummer, the musicality and glue here is Michael Simmons, who I don't know, but he's the glue. There's no question how it all comes together because I don't think I could listen to Schnee singing about cats like what's her name in uh Friends, like this guy's doing. Anyway, we'll get there in a second. Damn.
Well, it's funny because worm stew, doesn't that just seem like there's just stuff all mixed up and you can't find the beginning and the end and it could look like it's one long worm, but it's many worms, so you got to have all the worms to make the stew really work. But what's interesting about Steve, his songwriting started out where he wanted to copy his favorite. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to copy McCartney. He wanted to copy Paul Simon, Neil Young, the Beach Boys, but he just wasn't good enough. So it created his own unique sound. But you get a little feeling there, like you go, I think I knew what he's going for, but he didn't quite hit the mark. But I'm glad he didn't. He came up with his own stuff. You said Tippy Tippy T. That along with Spinning, I thought that they were so poppy and fun, creative lyrics. But I really thought the funniest one was Sheriff Brody. That's a tribute to Jaws.
Yeah.
That's just so my genre, my age group, my generation, and to think that that has carried into this 50 some years later, and people are still thinking about got to get a bigger boat. It was really fun. So worm stew, it scared me at first when you put that on the list.
That's why I did it.
but you kind of said you're not. It's not what you expect. So
Yes.
a lot of fun. Really, really fun. Now, other albums that you don't know? You don't know any of their other work?
Well, this is it. This
Okay.
is the first.
This is the first.
Hmm.
Well, cool for them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they said that he has done other things as a solo artist, but even when a guy says I suck, I don't want to go back. I don't. I just okie dokie. I'll pass then too. Right. Um, when cats are sad, the whole world knows. Now
True.
that's profundity, and it's perfectly worst. Wait, or is it when they're crying out for a bigger boat with Sheriff Brody in the jaws of an understated ditty? Oh my God. It won't matter to you because your love for the profounded bands like Sloan, Sky Diggers, Bare Naked Ladies, even the Beatles goes off script. Tip the ship, or in Wormstew's case, when you experience the last days of Loma, which is the title, you've found some gems, another stupid song, and a brilliant bucket of blues. All of this in the hopes of having that roadmap we just talked about, so you can go back, because there's always a chance that this could be forgotten. But I don't think so because they know they can even be better, and I have a feeling this is not the last serving of worm stew.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Lip Critic is the band. The album is called Theft World. I spent an enormity of time staring at the cover, trying to figure out just what is going on. I gave up. I can't even identify one solitary thing on there except
Yeah.
this here, I believe, is an eyeglass from a store where you would watch people
Oh.
for theft. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know. This is some spine of some animal that I have no idea of. Maybe the tail is something. So maybe they like a nice piece of ass like I do. But anyway, I don't. But later on we'll get into the reality. Brooklyn is such an extraordinary place in music. All right. I haven't been there in a while. But the variety and diversity of musicianship seems to be like walking across the next street corner. You never know what you're going to get. This time out, we're being thrown into a electrified post-punk and hardcore flipped on its end with robotically angered Chuck D meets Zach De La Roche of Rage Against the Machine in the Prodigy blender. What? Yeah, this is Theft World. And if you're into all of that I just mentioned, I think you're going to be hardlining this and flipping out. Lip Critic has this unique pulse, kind of that I just kind of told you about, but they're finding a way to manifest it in such an intense environment of noise and but leave an impression lyrically. If you can, I mean, because that lyrically thing is intertwined between beat, electronic pressure cooker attitude, and a petrified punk atmosphere that could hearken from any era of punk, if you're really listening. And listen, you will, because it's just going to shock the shit out of you as to how much they've compacted into here. As the true core of this, at the true core of this, like a Radiohead record, is something simple. And that is compounded and attacked by millions of microcosms of musical impressions that somehow find their way to symbiosis, which is quite the overall achievement. Some of you won't get there. I get it. I understand. If you love even a bit of drum and bass, because that's what's sitting at the top of this drum and bass, then you're in, and you're going to have a lot to chew on. The ear fat on this is technically pungent, and that even goes into the vocal electronic harshness that truly takes it's from a I felt like, oh, well, we're going to do a little Devo. No, we're going to do a little demon Devo, where the vocals go into this harsh screaming and unpredictable, crazy, but perfectly executed. There's a chance that I win. There's a chance that I lose. They did what they did, so I do what I do. All right. That's from Charity Dinner. that gives you any idea of where we're at. Hello. Yeah. Bingo. This man, I love what you do. All of you. I don't know where this is, but it's somewhere between a drug-induced club sweat coma and a thrash punk roadshow in a David Fincher movie that's got this mood image alleyway with Tricky at the controls. Damn.
Wow, I don't even know what to say now. I don't.
And actually, it was probably officiated by Missio. What? Okay.
Um, Theft World is that name. The album came from the result of one of their fans stole one of the guy's identities. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Who knew they had fans?
I don't even know. Well, I bet he was easy to catch.
Yes.
So,
And they did catch him.
that's right. Maybe he's in that album cover somewhere. We just don't know where.
Maybe he's the green hand.
Maybe. So you know, is it Kaiser or Kaiser? Kaiser? Okay. I don't know if
Let's
I'm
go with
saying.
Kaiser because it sounds very usual suspectian.
Yeah, it does. So, Kaiser Soze. First concert was David Byrne and Brian Eno. Okay, so that's kind of strange, for your first concerts,
Yeah,
when
I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. And he still wanted to play music. And Everly likes Talking Heads, which that's the same type of thing. And what I read, and I didn't look at like the notes on the album itself, but 0 guitars on this album.
Yeah. All synth, vocal layover, drum beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And the only musical influence I could actually find outside of the concerts that they went to, Butthole Surfers. Okay. So, this album, you used the word unpredictable. Unpredictable. I could not tell where one song ended and another started. I had to truly say, unless I was paying attention methodically.
I'm gonna get to that. Yep.
Okay. All right. I thought maybe it was me and my ADHD or whatever, but
Funny you should mention that. I do say something off color. Mm-hmm.
okay. Well, I thought the opener, Two Locks, is that the opener? That
Yep.
set the tone. That set the tone. No matter how the rest of the album didn't blend the way you might expect an album to blend, this set the tone for what all the other songs were going to be, at least a little bit. The one that I really liked was Jackpot. I don't know what it did. It grabbed me. I can say there was enough on this album that I liked, that the vocals, when they got out of control, I was okay with powering through. And because I do like the Butthole Surfers, and I know you don't like the Talking Heads, but I like the Talking Heads. I can see that they're very eclectic. They're interesting. I have no idea like how they sit down and actually write these songs.
Yeah.
A fly on the wall for that one, but interesting. Not my cup of tea normally, but it wasn't as bad as some of the other ones you throw at me.
Yeah. So there's a drawback, really, when you think about this. The lyrics come quick, and they come like a robot snared and electronically trying to survive the impact of everything else around it. That's tough. Attention deficit disorder, anyone? Hell yeah. Hello. Sometimes you just got to go, and nothing speaks to that more than drumming with Izzy and my blush, which has a subtitle I don't really care about, but because you're trying to concentrate, but damn, the other stuff is assaulting every attempt you have to draw. It's like he's trying to go, look at how serious I am, and this thing's going, and you're like, look over here, this guy's not important. I am, but it's not like there's 72 guys in this band. So, there's not melodic, but pulsating incredibleness that is daunting. and computerized in some fashion that most in the category are going to stand up and take audio awareness of. Honestly, anybody who loves this kind of stuff is going, "Wow, this is like the first time you heard that Transformer kind of shit." So
Yeah.
you have to, because you can't without listening to it. This is something you must behold. I'm not sure um, that anything has been this intensified on all ranges like this. Is super uber well produced for my ears. The group knows exactly how to mess with all the space, and maybe that's a little bit of the problem. But small drawback is they don't really give you a lot of breath of space.
Yeah.
Give me a little and give me
Mhm.
a little subtlety. By the way, he saw Brian Eno. I
Yeah.
don't. Brian Eno got flushed down the toilet apparently because this is there's no Brian Eno moment maybe except for maybe third of a second,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
it's musical madness, no question. Um, and yeah, again, you might feel like something was stolen from you because that's what it's all about, right? I found it invigorating, smart, thrilling, kind of inviting, but really, as it is an interesting concept reality album, kind of told from the wild drum and bass avant-garde perspective, one of Brooklyn's finest. Finest what? Well, finest apparently electro post-punk hardcore something or other that's coming your way well, if you can handle it. All right. So, Forever Loaded by the Lords of Altamont. Hmm. All right. So, what do we have here in the stoner sludge realm of a band that's been a bit around for a while, actually, and has that following that one might expect? How? How did it get this far? It got this far because you have a vocal organist. You got a vocalist and playing organ. There's your difference. There's your stoner rock, but then all of a sudden, a Doors influence, psychedelic, creeps into that stuff. The mannerisms that psychedelically change this kind of thing. And this is now their eighth or ninth studio record.
Wow.
Yeah, I think really for me, I was taking more notice the minute they joined Heavy Psych Sounds. That it's punching and it's got a weight class, and I don't know if it's got a championship belt yet, but and that's gonna be tough because the vocal is a tough thing to work through on this record because it's not front and center. It's having its trouble getting over of that. But maybe it's not supposed to. There's not psychedelic rock in this realm has a tendency to lead the vocal in that creepy satanic back end.
Hmm.
Not saying the band is satanic in any way, shape, or form. 666. While they have their claim to influences, I miss the punk side that people keep talking about. Punk is dead. I don't hear it. But the fuzz and the psych are an ominously all over the place, and the vocal work is put right there too. It's what they're doing. It's dark and lovely in its statement of music. Damn.
Yeah. When I read that they, were influenced by the Stooges and the New York Dolls, I was a little surprised. I thought maybe I was reading about the wrong band.
Yeah, it was the Lord of Altamont, not the Lords.
Exactly. And the name of their band came from the Stones concert, which people say that was probably the final nail in the hippie peace movement. But they try to keep it alive in their Doors element that you are talking about there, right? I just feel like he's got some flowers hanging out on his keyboard as he, does some satanic stuff. But I this this wasn't an album for me. However, if I like I say, I try to find something good in all these albums. I did the opener was okay. Get a hold on me. That was all right. I like that. Twisted Black. That was more of that dark, like rock type stuff. But I like Devil Rides. That is like a biker dive bar
Mhm.
song. And who doesn't like a dive bar with
Yeah,
some tough bikers there, right? I mean,
Mhm.
everybody needs that in their life. I'm not going to go to one, so I just listen to the song.
Maybe
So
you will. You never know.
maybe again in my
You
lifetime. I
got the
don't know.
chaps for it. What?
Not really.
So my problem with this
Yeah.
is there's nothing that stands out.
Yeah.
It's more fuzz, and there's no hook,
Yeah.
right? I kept thinking, well, first of all, it does have a tendency to sound like Rob Zombie in some
Yeah,
instances.
sure. Yeah.
But the killer here is that there's no like AC/DC. Okay, not saying this is similar, but the
Mhm.
reason you remember AC/DC is because of the hook.
Absolutely.
And this has
100.
no hook. This is like a sludging continual.
Yes. Yes.
And it's good for me and a lot of people who love this type of stoner rock. And it fits well, and the heavy psych sounds, and I love the organ side of it. But I needed that organ needs to get pumpitude. You know
Yeah.
that the organ was meant as an atmosphere, and maybe it could have started the melody instead. Oh, wait a minute. Then you're like the Doors. Never mind. Liuke Lee, the after party.
Hmm.
Wow, remind me not to go get sucked into any of her after parties she invites me to. Um, I likey it somewhat. Yeah, I'm again can't save me from being my parent. First of all, I gotta give her the songwriting lyrical props and drops that are in here. There are some lyrical moments here that are just absolutely fantastic. They're stirring. There's check out last famous or famous last words. That's
Some way, I don't care. Show you what it takes to fill the void, to write a sad song, be a bad boy. You say you won't hurt, baby, it only gets worse. I'm a phoenix, baby, the flames no longer burn. Trust me, it won't hurt. Famous last word.
but when it comes down to the dream chamber indie pop that's going on here, we're experiencing, the winner is the music, and it's condemned by her vocal range. Doesn't influx, and it gives it that some same level thing, and the lyrics don't get to shine as much as they could. Seems like we're placing all our eggs in that basket of overproduction into that Florence Welsh like take. And even there's a instance where they're trying to use that in like as if her voice was a chamber group, and that's
Hmm.
just not reality. And unless you're Florence Welch, you're not.
Yeah.
And she's trying Rosalia. Let's do the with the Lux kind of thing, but that's an accomplishment like no other. Um, for me, try for a little bit more raw. I kind of remember the earlier records that I have, and there was a
Hmm.
little bit more raw. And I think that would be a bit more euphoric,
Yeah.
and for her than this record. Damn.
She had a very interesting childhood.
No?
She a nomadic childhood. I
Oh,
mean,
that's right. Yes, yes.
she's from Sweden,
Mhm.
which of course you've got to always have one of those countries every week for me.
Yeah, yep. It's
To the
inescapable.
yeah, to the mountaintops of Portugal, to the North Dakota Native American reservation. Now, that's crazy. But her mother was the founder of the first Swedish all-female punk band.
Ah,
So that's interesting, and it kind of makes sense when she says that one of her influences outside of Beatles and the Stones is Patti Smith. So, um, you know,
songwriting wise, yeah, nice.
yeah, definitely. Is but I kind of agree with your assessment of the album though, and what was lacking as far as her vocals and that. But I thought that there's there's hope if she, grows into what I think she could probably do. Um, Sick of Love. I like that song. It was about resentment and lost love, but you felt like you needed to dance to it. And I'm
Yeah,
going,
it did have. Mhm.
you know, that's a good attitude to have. Lucky Again, that was more orchestral. That was, that didn't I didn't really feel any of her Patti Smith influence on these songs, but there were a couple that I enjoyed, but as a whole album, I don't think I would ever put it on and listen start to finish again.
Yeah, there are parts in this where her voice, you could say, Miley Cyrus.
Mm,
But you have to have range, and then the production's not
yeah,
letting her have any range. And I
yeah,
don't know if it somehow has slipped or it's just a production style, but it's production here for me. I
yeah.
no question. And I just don't remember those prior records being produced this way, but maybe they were, and I don't remember. So, we'll finish up now with Prague. Yay! Lumiere. No, not Lumiere. We're not doing Beauty and the Beast ever on this show. I have a disconnect with it. There's always next time. Ah, there's always next time. All right. Well, in steep contrast, my friends, there's always the first time. This Spain French prog band is new to me completely. I didn't know they existed. It gained my attention because somehow it is a 4.29 rating on Progressive Rock, and it's
Ah,
currently standing at the number 12 Progressive Album of the Year. Do I agree with that? I don't believe I do, considering what I've already discussed and promoted on this channel. But melodic, progressive pop and rock, not that much rock though. Okay, in a realm of Marillion Pineapple Thief crossover neo prog with the vocal that requires pristine acceptance, which can be off putting to some, mainly me, a bit insincere because it feels emotionless at times, like it's being delivered by an automaton. Yes, his
yeah,
vocal is fantastic, Leapborn. I'm looking for a little edge, a little crack, a little waver, but it's too good. I don't know if he's French or Spanish. I don't know which is which. But when we get Supertramp moment in an epic 15-minute Christmas flowers,
They come home for Christmas once a year. Grandchildren's laughter's memories to hold dear. For one week the streets revive as they once were. But all our Christmas tables are missing flowers.
oh
I
yeah,
kind of like, okay, you got Steven Wilson. Toto moments are dead, and we're back into that subdued drama prog. I like drama prog. I'm a drama prog comedian.
yes you are.
You got solos, you got orchestra, so there's a symphonic to it, which is expected and fully understated in a softer progressive approach. It's just softer. It's meant for the melancholy proggers.
Yeah, yeah.
Tam, are you a melancholy progger?
Well, you know what? I have to say, it was so fitting that I had to listen to this album the day after the Sabres got eliminated from the playoffs because there is always next time. Buffalo, New York. So relevant. And uh, I would have thought this was a Scandinavian band because there's no fun facts that I could find about them. So I tried. I didn't dig too deep. I liked a couple of the songs. I mean, I did like the title track. I thought Rain was good. I thought
Mm.
that was more lush, but it had some bluesiness to
Yeah, I
it,
had a blues rockin' thing. That was
which
the problem.
that's my thing. So I would have hoped for maybe a little bit more of that, but they're not a blues progressive band. If there is a band that is all blues progressive, that would be really strange. But um yeah, I mean, you've mentioned obviously their influences are the standard Genesis Boyd, yes, but then you throw some Depeche Mode in there and Prince. So isn't that weird?
Yeah, that was that. Yeah.
That's weird. So
Depeche Mode. Yeah, you've got okay. You have a synthesizer. That doesn't make you Depeche Mode. I know. Yeah.
that's right, but you might just like them. But yeah, I mean, this was just kind of it left something there for me on the table that didn't get fulfilled, other than the title of the album.
Yeah. Yeah. When it came down to this, I love Pineapple Thief. They have a very slow kind of but the drama prog. I like
Oh
it.
yeah,
And,
pineapple.
Airbag and I miss Riverside.
Mm.
Yeah, check those out. But I'm Marillion, never been in my wheelhouse that often, and I understand the Genesisy side, but it's not Ooh,
No,
Genesisy. Yeah, a little sissy-ish.
Genesis.
Yeah, this is Genesis was never sissy. It was,
No.
anyway. All right, let me get out of the trouble I'm probably putting myself in.
Yeah.
I'll thank Dan for joining me this week. What did you think of these 6 records? Let us know. I got a great comment from one of the Unknown Sundays from a while back. I love it when people find us accidentally. And that's the roadmap, people. The roadmap. Keep it. Next week, yeah, we're gonna carry the light for Peter Frampton. See what happens. Um,
Okay.
also. I'll talk to my stepmother. I didn't have one. And speaking of
Too lucky.
pineapple thief, right? Where Bruce Seward, and there's a gun outfit. There's 49 Winchester.
Ooh.
Who knows what's going to happen next week? We're on the web at
Mm.
beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course now TikTok because I love to punish myself. YouTube, of course, articles, videos, and a podcast all about music, albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching. Happy listening.
Bye.